next speaker is here today representing Stop the War, one of the co-organisers of today's rally. Please give a warm welcome to Lindsey German.
It's fantastic to be here today, and it's fantastic to see so many people who've turned out in Liverpool to say to Keir Starmer, do not support genocide, do not support an apartheid state, stop arming Israel, stop allowing Israel to do what it does. And this week is the most important week to do so, because Israel, we have said time after time on demonstrations, is a terror state. And we saw this week state terror on behalf of the Israeli government. You just imagine if any other group of people had booby-trapped pages which led to people losing their eyes, losing their hands, which targeted thousands of innocent people. Imagine if that had been targeted at the American State Department. Imagine if it had been targeted at the Pentagon. There would be war breaking out against those people right now. Instead of which they say nothing. Keir Starmer has not condemned what has gone on in Lebanon, and that is a disgrace, because what has gone on in Lebanon is a war crime and nothing short of a war crime. David Lammy tells us we have to stay calm, that we need cool heads and nobody should escalate. How convenient. Nobody else is allowed to strike back at Israel, but they're allowed to bomb and to maim and to kill week after week, month after month. Enough is enough. We are not going to keep putting up with this anymore. And Starmer also, the man who has taken away the winter fuel allowance for pensioners, is the man who is going to increase spending on the military and on so-called defence, including sending parts for F-35s to Israel. What a lying hypocrite the man is. And how shameful it is that a Labour government is not standing up against what Israel and what Netanyahu is doing. Now, this is going on all the time. We are seeing reckless warmongering and provocation, aided and abetted by David Lammy and by Keir Starmer and by Joe Biden in the States, by all these people. Reckless warmongering and provocation in the Middle East, where there is a threat of a much bigger war. In Ukraine, where there's a threat of a much bigger war. Against China, where there will be a threat of a world war if we don't stop it. And therefore, we have a hugely important job to do. Solidarity with Palestine, but not just solidarity with Palestine. Let's end this warmongering and let's keep organising. People say, what's the point of marching? I'll tell you what the point of marching is. It says to the people of Gaza that we are with them. And it says to our government that we are not going to put up with it. A year ago, they told us we couldn't chant from the river to the sea. We do chant it on every single demonstration. They told us we weren't allowed to wave Palestine flags. We wave them as we are today on every single demonstration. They told us we weren't allowed to march, we were hate marchers, but we got rid of Suella Braverman. And Starmer should not for a minute think we won't get rid of him and Lammy as well, unless they change their policy. Just finally, I'll say this. Keep organising, keep marching. On October the 5th, we have another national demonstration in London. Please join us. It's great being here in Liverpool, but let's get even bigger crowds in London on that day. And on October the 10th, we have a national day of action for trade unions. Make sure in your workplace, if you can stop work for 5 minutes or half an hour, if you can demonstrate outside, if you can pass resolutions, if you can wave the flag, if you can do any of those things, do what you can for Palestine every single day. Not just BDS, but also the demonstrations, the days of action are so important. Solidarity, everybody, we will win.
Our next speaker is the founder of Stop the War in Merseyside.
She's also the Secretary of Merseyside Pensioners Association, and she's a long-time trade union activist. So please give a warm welcome to Audrey White.
Thank you, comrades. I just want to say that every Sunday in Liverpool, we march for Palestine. Every time there's a demonstration in London, our comrades march to London. No, we don't march to London. We march in London against the seat of power, against the government. The government is here. The government is here, just in the building across the way there. And if anybody knows where Keir Starmer is staying, please let me know. Merseyside pensioners want to sit down with him and tell him what we think of him. A government that can bow to genocide can easily, without the bat of an eyelid, take off the winter fuel allowance for its pensioners. The poorest of pensioners can take the winter fuel allowance so that thousands of pensioners die, whether they're black, white, Catholic, Muslim, Protestant or Jewish. They don't care. They don't care what religion you are, what gender you are. It's all about class. They are making ordinary working class people suffer for their political ideology. And it's only the poor that will suffer. The other point I wanted to make today, it may not be popular, but it's about time we started talking about the weapons. And I don't mean the F-35s or whatever number it is that's bombing people in tents. I don't even mean these booby-trapped technological things like pagers and mobile phones. I don't even mean them. Let's all have a look at what really enabled Israel to do what it's doing. The weapon that they used was so dirty and so filthy that we haven't really talked about it to any extent. That weapon was weaponizing fake anti-Semitism, and it was used to divide our movement. It was used to destroy Jeremy Corbyn. It was used so that we were afraid to defend our comrades, to stand by, quite often, our Jewish comrades who were targeted by the Labour Party. And let's face it, where did those lies come from? They come from within the Labour Party, and they also came through the pages of the Jewish Chronicle. And you can see what happened. The Jewish Chronicle has a direct line to Netanyahu, to the IDF, and to the generals for Israel that are carrying out a genocide. Let's all talk about this fake anti-Semitism. It was wrong, it was disgraceful, and it destroyed our movement. We've got unity now. Let's use our unity. Let's challenge anyone who says anything that tries to discredit us. We're the people for peace. We're the people who are anti-racist. We're the people who are fighting for a better world. Unite together. Solidarity to everybody. Do not accept the lies.